Hey everyone, welcome back to Offbeat Motors. I'm Corey, and today we're going to be doing some maintenance on the Jeep. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a oil change. We're going to change the air filter, the cabin air filter, and we're going to change the fluid in the front and rear diffs. Maintenance-wise, the schedule says about 40,000 miles is when the diff fluid is supposed to be changed. I got a little over 30,000, and I do go off-roading and whatnot, so I'm going to go ahead and change it a little early. It's not that expensive, and it's definitely something you can do yourself, so I'm going to show you how to do that. It may be a little different on mine compared to some of the newer Jeeps because they did change the axles a little for the drain and fill. So what do we need? First, we're going to start off with the oil change. I went and got all my parts. So we got our fluid for the engine oil. We have our filter, and just this isn't product placement or anything like this. This is just what I got. Get whatever brand you want. Everybody has their own opinion on what they like brand-wise, so just get whatever it is you want or stick with the manufacturer, like Mopar filters and stuff like that. You can get Mopar filters from like O'Reilly's and stuff, so if that's what you want, go for it. But we got our gear oil. I got 4 of them. I shouldn't need all 4. Probably going to use like 3.5 total. Picked up a pump. May or may not need that, but we got it. We got the air filter and the cabin air filters right here. We got some disposable rags. Got my wiper blades, and of course, going to top off the windshield washer fluid. Now, to do the oil change, right here, we're going to need something to catch the oil in. So we have a bucket here, and this one's designed to help you. When you want to go to drain this, you stick this right back in there and put it in there, and as you can see, yeah, I got a couple over there that I got to return. So gloves, whether you use them or not, that's up to you, or mechanic style gloves. Shouldn't really need these though, but you never know. Got some rags. Got a 15/16 socket here, and that is going to be used to get this cap off for the oil filter. This is where the oil filter is going to go. If you're not aware, that's where your engine oil goes. We'll get to that. And this is a 1/2 inch. That's going to be for the drain plug. So first thing we need to do, at least what I like to do, is open up this cap right off to the side. That way there you get some air going in, and it doesn't, like, it helps it flow a lot better, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The other thing I like to do is pull this up, because if that's up, that'll help you remember, put the oil back in, because once you put the oil in, then you put it down, you know you're done. But leave it up for now, just what I like to do. So, we are going to, got a nice cardboard piece here, slide that underneath, grab our 1/2 inch, throw that under there, and now we get to crawl underneath. And good thing with a Jeep, I don't have it on any jack stands. I'm just on a level surface right now, so there's enough clearance you can crawl underneath it. So let's get underneath and start draining the oil out. Okay, so we're under here. Transmission's back there, differential's right here. Right in between is the engine oil sump. This is where we're going to drain our fluid from. And again, it's important to make sure your vehicle's level, because this is going to be the lowest point. You don't want it up at an angle so that all the fluid's running towards the back and you don't get it all out. This is going to give you the best chance of getting most of it out. So let's go ahead and use our 1/2 inch. Break it free. I like to put a little extension on it just to keep your hands out of the way of the oil, especially if you drove your vehicle just before this, like I did. So it's probably going to be a little warm. All right, and woohoo! There we go. I'm going to go ahead and let that drain. Okay, and while the oil is draining out of the bottom of the pan, what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the top and we're going to take the filter out and replace that. So right here is where your oil filter lives. What I like to do before I start unscrewing that is take some of the disposable rags, because you are going to get some oil. Stuff that right there. Go ahead and spin this off. It shouldn't be on very tight. And take another set of rags, hold this straight up, and go ahead and just place it on there like that and move it over to your bench. Okay, so now that we got the filter out, we got to remove the filter from the canister housing. There is an O-ring on here that you need to get off as well, so let's go ahead and take the filter out real quick. Just going to go ahead and wheel it back and forth until it pops off. Now remember how it goes in. You have this nipple here sticking out and the hole at the bottom. Take the rag, just wipe it down a little bit. Now we're going to replace this O-ring with a new one. So in order to get that O-ring off, you got a couple of options. You could use a flathead screwdriver, a small one, or you can use a pick. Sometimes you can just go ahead and roll it off with your fingertip, but it all depends. So I'm going to use a small flathead screwdriver. So it's as simple as sticking it up in between the O-ring and the filter housing and just roll it off. And once you get it out of that main groove, you can just roll it the rest of the way. It's important to make sure that you lube up the new O-ring. So just take some of the new oil that you have that you're going to put in the vehicle, put a little bit on your finger, and just lube it up. You're going to do this because when you go to remove it, it's not going to stick. And depending upon, and you should do this for all of your oil changes, the regular style screw-on filters, definitely oil those up. Story time. I was asked to do an oil change on a Ford Ranger once. This was probably, had to have been back in the mid-90s. So the guy brought it over and I went to go take the oil filter off and it wouldn't budge at all because whoever did it last did not put any oil on the filter and it just kind of like seized itself. It took me 6 hours to chisel that oil filter off. Wasn't fun at all. So save yourself the headache and just put a little bit of oil on here. And then you're just going to go ahead and roll it on. Just like that. And there we go. Nice and seated. Now, take your oil filter, nipple side up, and down in here is where the hole is going to go. So we're going to put it right in there, just until you hear a little click. Now this is ready to go back in the truck. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And we're just going to go ahead and stick this in. Screw it down hand tight. And again, this doesn't need very much, so don't be going yanking on it. You're just going to want to snug it up. That's about all you need right there. And now that we're done putting the filter in, we're not going to put the engine oil in yet because we still have to put the drain plug in. But as you can see, maybe you can or cannot see, it's still dripping. So we still got a few minutes. Time to get some water and sit in front of the fan because it's like 95 degrees out right now. We're just down to a little dribble here and there, which you probably can't see. So this is a good time to go ahead and put your plug back in. And do this by hand. You don't want to strip those threads, otherwise you're going to end up replacing the lower sump. Get your 1/2 inch. And again, not going to go very tight. grab a rag and just wipe this down. Now we can put oil in it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put in some 0W20. That's what this Pentstar calls for. And it's going to be 5 quarts. And before we do that, I'm going to get those rags, disposable ones. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay that right there, just to catch any that I spill. Go ahead and put a funnel in there because I'm not that good at pouring without spilling. So this will minimize my spillage. And we're going to put this whole 5 quarts in there. Quick tip, when you're pouring out of here, don't pour like this. That's when it's going to, you're going to get the bloop, bloop, bloop. These are actually designed to pour sideways. Alright, now that we get the fluid in, we're going to push that down. We're going to do a quick check now, and then we'll put the cap on, start it for a second so it gets the oil all through the system, and then we'll check it again. So right now it's a little over full, which you can't see, but once we start it, it's going to get it throughout the rest of the system, and then we should be good to go. Dead on. It's probably hard to see, but it's right at the mark. Good to go with the oil change. The last part of which I won't bore you with is you should also then start the vehicle and let it run for a minute and just check underneath, make sure there's no leaks, just in case you forgot to put the drain plug back in. So just like fluids for your engine, your gears, your transmission, your transfer case, any type of filter, everybody's going to once again have their own preference. If you want Mopar because you drive a Jeep or whatever, you can get it from the dealership, or you can go, and I believe O'Reilly sells the air filter, Mopar air filters as well. But choose whatever it is that you like, and that's all I gotta say about that. So I'm using a Wix. I spent a lot of my time working for German car line, and Wix is one of the popular filters, so I just came accustomed to using them. I've never had a problem with them, that's why I use them, but use whatever it is that you like. So to change the air filter, it's quite simple. This is our filter. So on the Jeep Gladiator, the air filter is going to live right here in this box, which is right in front of the battery on the passenger side of the vehicle. There's 4 screws we're going to have to take out, one here, 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 and here. And they're 8 millimeters, or you can use a flathead or a Phillips. It's up to you. Now, if you want to make this super easy, you can undo this clamp that's right here and just pull this piece off. Or you just lift it up and you can snake the old one out. And that's pretty dirty, probably from going off-roading. And you can just snake the new one right back in. Cover back on. And don't go super tight on these because it's just plastic. You're going to strip them out. That's it. So the next thing I'm going to do is replace the cabin air filter. I'm not going to show you this because I did a video on specifically replacing this in the Jeep Gladiator. You can go ahead and watch that video. I'll link it down below. But it lives behind the glove box inside the vehicle. So you just pull the glove box down, it pops out pretty easily. And you pull the cover off, pull the old filter out, put the new filter in, put the cover on, put the glove box back in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And this is basically what it looks like. Nice and flimsy. But for my allergies, it's very important. Okay, so next I was originally going to do the wiper blades, which are pretty simple and easy to do, but I'm not going to be changing them right now. And let me show you why. This is my own damn fault. So 16 inch, that's what the Jeep calls for. So two 16-inch wiper blades. So there's one. 16 inch. There's the other. Don't know how I didn't notice that at the beginning. But they are not the same. So I got to return the one. I measured it. This is actually 22 inches. Somebody swapped them. Don't know why, but they did. So I got to return that one and get another one. So I ain't doing that today. But next, we're going to jump up under here. You see I got the bucket all drained out. And we are going to do the front diff fluid change. To do the diff fluid, we're going to pull the upper plug. Let's just get under here and I'll show you. Pull this upper plug to vent it, and this is where we're going to fill. And we're going to pull this lower plug right at the bottom, and that's going to be to drain it. To do that, just need a 3/8 drive. It's a square, so nice and simple, easy to do. So let's go ahead and pull out the top one first, and then we'll pull out the bottom one. Well, you might get a little bit dripping out of here, because when you fill this, you're going to fill it until it starts coming out, and that's how you know it's full. So just get your we didn't get any. Set that off to the side. And now we're going to pull the bottom one. I'm going to put a glove on. Gear oil stinks, by the way. So just be prepared for the smell. It's not the most pleasant smell in the world. People love it. People hate it. I'm going to get a glove so it doesn't get all over my hand. Okay, back to my glove. And of course I'm an idiot and put it on the wrong hand. So now this is going to come out pretty quick. So there we go. And I forgot my rag. It's pretty much all the oil out of it, so we're going to go ahead and put the plug back in. And this is a magnetic plug, so go ahead and clean that off before you put it back in. You're going to get a bunch of goop and stuff off of it. So yeah, just clean it off before you put it back in. And we're just going to go ahead and reinstall. Hand tight. There we go. Guten tight. So now we are going to put the oil, gear oil, back in through this hole. Let me show you how we're going to do that. So to get the gear oil up in there, there's not really enough room to bring it up and squirt it in like this. So we're going to use this pump, which I just picked it up from, I think it was AutoZone. It was like 12 bucks. And you're going to pull the top off of here. This is going to screw on. Before we screw it on, we're going to put one of these straws on. It comes in 2 different length straws. I think I'm going to use this longer one to get down in the bottle further. But yeah, and then you just pump it and right in. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to fill, pumping directly into this. So let's go ahead, put our hose in there. Now let's bring this over just a little bit, because when it's full, it's going to leak out of here. That's how we know it's full. Alright, so we're getting to the bottom of our first bottle. Let's go ahead and pull this out and switch it to the next bottle. Okay, now we're back to bottle number 2. Okay, now it's starting to leak out. Now we know it's full. So, drain plug, put our drain plug back in, or fill plug, vent plug. Not very tight. And we'll just go ahead and wipe this off. On to the back. Okay, so it's another day and we have to do the fluid in the rear end once again. So a little bit of a story time. This is a Willys. There's no rear locker in this thing. So it has the track lock differential. With that, you need some friction modifier and the oil. I forgot about this. I knew I needed it, but when I went and bought the gear oil in the first place, they didn't have any, so I'm like, oh, I'll just get some online, no biggie, because I wasn't doing it right away. Well, I forgot about it, and when I remembered it is after I already drained the oil and put the new fluid in. So that was my fault. So once I got it in there, I was like, oh crap, I forgot about the friction modifier, forgot to order it. So I got 2 more bottles plus the friction modifier, so I'm going to do it again. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So all you got to do is add this first and then fill with these 2 bottles. You're not going to use all of the second one, but you'll probably use most of it. So let's go ahead and get it drained. Not all of these Gladiators are going to be done the same way. Mine has a plug. Let's see, where is it? Right here. That's to drain it. Not all of them have this. I think it's after 2021 or 2022, somewhere in there, somewhere along the lines, they changed the axles that the rear ends that they were using. So in order to get the fluid out, you would have to pull the rear cover. Mine I don't have to because I have the drain plug here. Fill is right here. So again, if you didn't have this plug right here, then you loosen up these bolts all around the cover and pry the cover off, and then you got to reseal the cover afterwards. Okay, go ahead and put your drain plug back in. Remember, snug it down, don't go crazy on it, don't need to go ham. Put in the friction modifier. If you're wondering what size this is, it's 4 ounces. There's a bunch of different companies that make this. Mopar has their own if you want to stick with factory. This one's by Lube Guard. It's just a limited slip supplement. It's a friction type modifier. Now we can fill. There. There it is. And that's how you know it's full. Snug it up. There we go. And we're done. And there you go. That's how you change the fluids in your vehicle. Something you can do yourself. Save yourself some money from having to go to the dealership because they're going to charge you out the ass for it. It's really easy to do. And like I said, if you don't have the locking rear diff, make sure you get the friction modifier. So that's all there is to it. You guys have a great day, and like, subscribe, share, all that blah 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 stuff. And if you like that video, you know there's a couple extra videos here on the screen you can go ahead and pick from as well. Catch you guys later.